All right, ladies and gentlemen, the goal here is to graph inequalities on a number line, and this corresponds to the activities you're doing at station number 2. Now, the first thing you'll notice is you're going to need a foldable, and you're going to have to do some stuff with that foldable on the first slide. So make sure you pause as necessary so you can keep up with the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, so the foldable needs to be folded in half with all the writing on the inside. Then you're going to cut it into 5 tabs. You're going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4 slits all the way to the place where you folded it in half. Don't cut both sides. Then you're going to paste it into your notebook and then label each tab as shown in the picture. Go ahead and pause it here so you can catch up. All right, now that you have it labeled and pasted in your notebook, I want to go over what each of these symbols mean. You need to know these just by looking at the symbol. Okay? The first one here is called less than. And it's easy to remember because it looks like an L. The second one is less than or equal to. The third one is greater than. The fourth one is greater than or equal to. And the last one is not equal to. Okay, don't write that on the tabs. I probably should have said that sooner. Hope you didn't write it on the tabs. You'll be able to see it written on the inside. That way you can practice. All right. So let's practice a few. The first one, remember, was less than. And the example we're going to use is B. Let's use a different color. B is less than 4. And when we're graphing B is less than 4, we're going to use what's called an open circle because it can't be equal to 4. And we need to number our number line. And as far as I'm concerned, you can just label the number 1 less than and 1 greater than. And that's plenty to be able to tell what we're talking about. All right, so at 4, we're going to do an open circle. And then remember, because it says less than, we're going to shade where it's less than. All right, let's try another example. We're going to do x is less than or equal to 8. Now, because it says equal to, we're going to use a closed circle. That means it could be equal to what's filled in. So let's number our number line. We need 8, 1 bigger, 1 smaller. We're going to use a closed circle. And it says less than, so we're shading where it is less than. All right, let's do another example. Let's do A is greater than 5. Okay, so here we're going to again use an open circle. We need 5, 1 bigger, 1 smaller, and we're using an open circle, and it says A is greater than. All right, let's try another one. For greater than or equal to, we're going to do Z is greater than or equal to 7. So put the 7, 1 bigger, 1 smaller, open or closed circle this time. It's going to be closed because it can be equal to, and we're shading where it's greater than. All right, this last one's a little tricky here. Not equal to. Okay, so let's try graphing y is not equal to 3. So if it's not going to be equal to, do you think it's going to be an open or a closed circle? If you said open, you are correct. Now, where are we going to shade? Well, it's open on the number 3, and 1 bigger and 1 less than. Not equal to 3, I could shade anything greater than 3. And I could also shade anything less than 3. All right, let's challenge you. How would you graph x equals 3? It's going to be a closed circle on 3. That's a pretty ugly closed circle on 3. Wow, I can't do it. That's a little bit better. Closed circle on 3, that's it. X equals 3. Alright, so hopefully that makes sense to you guys. What I'm going to have you do now is to practice graphing the inequalities using some dice, so it's not quite as boring. Okay? What you're going to do is there are 4 columns. In the first column, you're going to pick any variable and write it. I've already got an X in there for you. In the second column, you're going to roll the inequality dice, and you're going to write it there. So I roll the dice, and I get a less than or equal to symbol. Then, sorry, that was Benji. Then you're going to roll the number dice, and you're going to write that in the third column. So I roll my number dice, and I get a 6. Last thing you need to do in the fourth column is graph it. So I'm going to have 6, one bigger, one smaller. I'm going to have a closed circle, and that says X is less than, so I'm shading where it's less than. Pretty simple, right? Okay, so while you're doing this, you're going to just roll the dice to find out what you have to graph. But as you get towards the end, go back and check and make sure that you've graphed at least one of each type of inequality. That's less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal to. So make sure you have one of each of those. When you finish, you need to get a group member to sign that they have checked your work and believe they are all correct. After a classmate checks, you need to get me to check. And please be very considerate and polite about getting me to check. If I'm busy, come back later and work on the next steps. Okay? When you finish, go back to the Google Doc and look at the next steps. Have a great day and have fun playing your dice game.